everyone, so I'm going to be doing a review on the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. I'm in the color 10. So I've had this concealer for the past 4 months now and it was kind of a love-hate relationship. So I'll start off where you can purchase this concealer. In Australia you can purchase this concealer from Sephora from their Tarte counter and it retails for 37 Australian dollars. So for $37 you get 8 grams worth of product. So there are 14 shades available for this concealer and I feel like it has a very good shade range. There's very light concealers and very dark concealers, all consisting of different undertones. So this concealer claims that it's crease-free, waterproof and full coverage. So I'll tell you how I feel on those points after the demonstration. So I've already applied moisturizer, primer and I have applied foundation on my face. I haven't done any powder or anything. I'm just going to do the next step, which is my concealer. So with this concealer, with this particular concealer, I do not like to correct under my eyes just because the concealer itself is very, very thick. So adding that extra product, so that correcting product underneath my eyes and then adding this on top makes me feel really, really uncomfortable. It makes my under eyes feel very thick and cakey and I really, really hate that feeling. So this product itself is quite thick. Personally for me, it is a very, very thick concealer. So what I like to use is a brush to apply the concealer first. So I use a synthetic flat eyeshadow brush that looks similar to this. I find that this type of brush is super, super easy to apply the product with, and then I generally use a damp beauty blender to blend the product out. So I'll show you what I do. I'll show you the consistency of the concealer. So that's what it looks like. So it's a very, very thick, gooey concealer. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's very, very thick. So as you can tell, I do have a bit of dark under eye circles underneath. Nothing too major, but something that I still like to correct and fix. I'm not going to put any correctors or anything underneath. This is just going to be the concealer by itself and you can see the full power of it and the capability of the concealer. So go ahead. So what I like to do is I like to apply just a straight amount underneath and then drag the remainder product down below. So this concealer I use both for concealing my dark under eye circles and highlighting underneath my eyes. So I generally take this concealer, put it up on my forehead, take a line down my nose and then put it on my chin. That little squirt did all of this, so I feel like a little goes a long way. You don't need a lot of product. I still have a little bit left over on my hand, so a little goes a long way with this concealer. So next what I do is I take a damp beauty blender. If I know that it's going to be a very, very long day or if it's going to be a very hot, humid day, I try to prolong this concealer as much as I can. So I use Fix Plus or I use a makeup finishing spray on the sponge as well and then I blend it out, but for the purpose of this video I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to blend it out with a damp beauty blender. I'm just going to start blending it out. So for me this concealer is very, very easy to blend despite being so thick. It does take a little while, but I feel like it is very nice and easy to blend. Making sure that you blend out all those harsh lines so it looks more natural. Okay, so I've done blending out the concealer. So this is just the concealer blended out. I haven't put any powder to set it. I haven't put anything on top. This is just the concealer after it's been blended. So as you can tell, as a highlight, I feel like it does a great job, but as a concealer for me, personally, like I feel like I don't have bad under eye circles, but for me, I feel like for being such a thick concealer, it doesn't do the intended job, which is to cover the under eye darkness. I feel like it's still quite dark. Like I feel like you can still see the kind of darkness that's in my eyes, and yeah, I don't know. I've had other concealers that totally fix this. So you might think that this is me being picky, but I've actually have used other concealers where it's like corrected this darkness completely and completely brighten up this certain area here. I feel like as a highlight, like a highlighting concealer does an amazing job in this area on the nose, the chin, and the forehead, but just this specific area, like the main reason why I use concealer, it doesn't do an amazing job. So even with this product that I've put here, and even when I do set it, I tend to set it with my Stay Matte powder, and I even set it with my Kryolan translucent powder, and I always experience my lines coming through. So give it like maybe another 15 to 20 minutes. Even after baking and setting and doing everything, I always get the concealer just sitting in my lines. Like I have one kind of deep line here. Everyone has like, you know, under eye lines. It's just something you can't get rid of. It happens. And I always, whenever I use this concealer, even if I've set it and I've put all this kind of setting powder, setting mist and everything, this concealer always sits in one of my fine lines. Like I get a distinctive line and the product just sits there so brightly and it looks really, really bad. You saw the whole process, you saw it up and close. So that's how I kind of feel about this concealer. I actually have a little story to share with you regarding this concealer. So I went to a music festival one day, and so knowing that it was going to be very hot that day, that I was going to be sweating, and that it was going to be a very long day, I opted for this concealer. So this concealer does claim that it's full coverage, creaseless, and waterproof. So I thought, yes, this ticks all the boxes that I need for this music festival. So I'll tell you the whole process just so you know fully what happened. So I put the Benefit Professional Primer on my T-zone and a bit underneath the eyes here. That's where I have my pores. Then I applied my Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation, and then I applied this concealer. So to set the concealer, I used the Kryolan translucent powder underneath my eyes. I baked it, did the rest of my routine, and then wiped it off. So you'd think doing that whole process would work, but boy, it didn't. So what happened to me that day, we were 2 hours into the music festival, and what happened to my under eyes was that it was completely breaking down and melting. It was falling apart. The rest of my makeup was fine, my eyeshadow, my mascara, my foundation, but just this section underneath was just completely failing on me. It was creasing incredibly, it was melting, it was a complete disaster. So in the end, I had to wipe underneath my under eyes, and then obviously that looked ridiculous. So I had to wipe off my whole entire makeup and just walk around with my sunnies on, just because this concealer failed me. After this happened, I went to Sephora and asked them, is there any issues? Like, what did I do wrong? Just because I was totally surprised as to why this happened. I know this concealer is very popular online. It's won multiple awards. It's won the Allure Best of Beauty Award in 2015. So I thought, you know, I am buying an amazing product. So the people at Sephora were also baffled as well. They were just like, you did all the right steps. What happened? I don't know. No one knows what happened. So personally, I feel like this concealer is way too thick. I think that's its main issue, the concealer being way too thick that you can't apply more products because it'll just get very thick and heavy, and then, I don't know, I feel like it is not waterproof. I feel like it cannot take humidity, it cannot take heat, it just completely breaks down and just starts to melt. So I'm really not happy with this concealer. I feel like it might be great in the winter time where it's very cold and, like, you know, thick concealer would do the job, but personally for the summer and what it claims to do, it just completely failed. I'm really sad about it. It's just, I don't know, I had such high hopes for it, and yeah, it was rather disappointing. This was purely my experience. I don't know about other people. I know some people rave about it, so clearly it works for them, but for me it has not been working. I've tried different things. I've tried pressed powders, setting powders, I've tried setting sprays, I've tried using it with a corrector, but then that's just made it even worse. So yeah, I've got to say that I don't like it. I feel like it'll be amazing for the winter time. Like, it does leave an amazing finish, but longevity wise, dealing with it in the heat, it doesn't seem to work. So I'm really sorry, but yeah. So that was my review on the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. I hope you liked it. I hope it helped you. If you had any questions about it, I hope it answered them. If you do have more questions about it, definitely leave them down below. I am more than happy to answer them. So hopefully this video helped you. If it did, give this video a thumbs up. And if this is the first time you're seeing me, subscribe to my channel. I have more videos coming up and you can check out my old videos. And I will see you all soon. Bye guys!